So I'm filming this video because I'm incredibly nervous to try counselling. Yeah, I know that it could be very beneficial to me, and I know that there are tons of people who are in the same boat as me. You think of counselling, you think of having to open up to a stranger, and immediately, even though you know that it could help you a huge amount, you still write it off because that first initial barrier of opening up to a stranger is just too big. If you've followed my Instagram or my YouTube, you'll know that I do touch on mental health quite a lot on my channel, and I do my best to be there for people, whether I know them or not, through what they're going through. I give them a place to open up. I'm there to listen because I think most of the time that's just what people need. And lucky enough, I've been given the opportunity to work with a huge company. They're called BetterHelp, and they are the world's largest e-counselling platform. So the things they focus on and market themselves as are accessible, affordable, and convenient. They offer counselling in 4 different ways, so normal messenger, live messenger, phone calls and video calls, and it's worldwide. They have professionals who speak multiple different languages, and at the start of the service they provide you with a match to your mental health issues. And also they do have financial aid for anyone who qualifies for it. So BetterHelp reached out to me and asked if I wanted to partner with them to basically help share the word, because obviously this is an amazing thing. I do have a personal link that you can use that will give you 10% off. I am in paid partnership with BetterHelp, so I just want to thank you so much if you do use my link. BetterHelp isn't a crisis line, so I'm gonna pop down some hotlines, whether it's suicide hotlines, family crisis hotlines. I'm gonna pop a bunch down below just in case you need them. So why am I doing this? So I have my fair share of mental health issues. Without going into all the details, I suffer with anxiety and depression. I think I've had anxiety my whole life because I can think of multiple cases when I was very young, not being able to deal with the fear of being in social situations. I deal with depression from multiple things, including losing loved ones. I mean, I really don't want to go into all the details right now, but I had counselling when I was very young and it just didn't really do anything for me. Ever since, I've just been afraid to open up to new people, to open up that part of myself with someone that I don't fully trust. And I just kind of have always thought I'll look after myself. But that really isn't helpful for everybody. I know there are plenty of people who feel content with their mental health but still speak to a therapist regularly just to make sure that they're staying on top of their thoughts, because sometimes you can be dealing with something without even realising it. I am going to be trying out BetterHelp's e-counselling service for the next month or so, I'm not really sure, and just see how it goes. As you can probably tell, I'm very nervous. I'm not usually this quiet. Maybe quiet's not the right word. I'm not usually this unanimated. I'm usually a lot more bubbly and energetic in my videos, but right now I just feel like I could cry and I don't really know why. So this video is just going to be a documentation of my experience with the service. I want to show you that even though it can feel really hard to open up to someone you don't know and you don't even know what you would say, you can still do it. I can almost guarantee it's going to help me, and it would help almost everyone. So I'm going to sign up for a membership now, and then I believe it takes 1 to 2 days to be assigned to a therapist. So I've got my laptop and I think we're just going to do it. I just want to throw it out there. I don't think I need counselling. I just know that it probably will help me because I am still dealing with things, and I have things coming up which I know are going to make me very anxious, and I can talk to them about it. But it's mainly to show you guys that it's okay to feel anxious about counselling in general, and if I can push through it, you can. Okay, so I'm currently signing up. Have I had counselling or therapy before? Do I feel my mental health is being impacted by the coronavirus outbreak? Are you currently experiencing overwhelming sadness, grief, or depression? How often do I feel tired or have little energy? I feel that most days, so I'm gonna have to put nearly every day. Oh, I feel so emotional. Okay, keep going. Plum neck. So these questions are very specific but also quite varied, so it's basically in all gonna really narrow it down to what you're dealing with. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else. Right, okay, I've finally completed the questionnaire, so I've just gotta pop in my details. I did not expect to get emotional reading those questions. I think when someone with a bit of authority and like qualification and that kind of thing asks you specific questions that really trigger something you deal with or have dealt with, it's kind of like whoa. Now it says get started, so I can put in my preferences for the counsellor that I'm going to be assigned. So I can put anything to do with the gender, the religion, the orientation, the age, the race, like it's putting stuff there in case you have those things that apply to you. And now I can tick I prefer a counsellor with experience in, and it's got loads of different expertise, honestly about 20 to 30 different ones, and I can mark least important, somewhat important, and most important. What brings you here? Oh gosh, okay, now I need to try and sum this up. So now I've just kind of reached the kind of dashboard looking thing, and it says that they are currently finding a counsellor for me. It's opened up the chat and said, please write some more so that the counsellors can get to know you better. Your subscription only starts when you're matched with a counsellor, and I will be emailed when there is a match. Okay, so that's on the counselling part. There's also a journal part where you can put in entries, you can share it with your counsellor. So that's quite nice, having like an online journal. And now there's something called a groupinar, which is really cool. And the first one that's come up is about overthinking, and I am the biggest overthinker, so I'm just gonna check and see if they have an app, because I know that I would use an app more than on my laptop. Okay, they have an app. I've just downloaded the app, and the first thing you see is the group chat with your counsellor. You then have your journal, which is quite cool. There's a schedule where you can schedule like live chats, video calls, and all of those things with your therapist. And then it's got the groupinars page. So there's not much more that I can do right now. I've just got to wait to be matched. I really don't know what I'm even going to say to them and where it's going to lead. Don't know why, I just feel really sick about the whole thing. But I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep you posted, and yes, wish me luck. So it's the next day, and I have my counsellor assigned to me. I was actually assigned to my counsellor less than 5 hours after I had my verification email through, which I think is really quick, because it said it could take 1 to 2 days, and I think it was like 4.5 hours after that email that I had a message through from the counsellor. So I feel like calling them a counsellor just sounds so serious. I don't know. And I read her message, and it was kind of just an introduction of who she is and a bit of a response to the information that I've put in. And I didn't respond straight away because I just didn't know what to say. I thought I don't want to drag this out too long, so I've just bitten the bullet and I've written a message and I'm about to send it. And I thought I would just tell you what I've written, because there's nothing like, there's no details in there that are sensitive, and I just want to show you like how I think is just an easy way to kind of try and get the conversation going. So I said, as I'm sure you've seen from the information I've already provided, I'm a little nervous to speak with a counsellor. I find it hard to explain myself to my loved ones, let alone a stranger, and I don't even know where I'd start really. But I know ultimately that it could help me, and I've got a few things coming up that I think are building a bit of underlying anxiety. So it'd be great to chat about ways to manage them. I don't really have any expectations or goals with this, but would like to just see where it goes from here. Thank you for your support. So I'm gonna send it, which is quite daunting. I don't know how quickly she's gonna respond. But yeah, the whole thing just still is making me feel really nervous, so I don't know. I ended up having a really weird day yesterday. I think just a lot of things were building up in my head, and this morning I was a bit sensitive, but I've ended up having a good day. I feel like I'm refreshing and resetting. So yeah, I'll keep you posted. Okay, it's a few days later. I've been talking to my therapist. I honestly can't remember what I last said to you that was happening, so I'm just gonna quickly go over it. The therapist was like immediately trying to talk about scheduling in like a live chat, and she knew straight away that I didn't want to have a phone call. I was just saying that I wanted to just see it how it goes and just talk comfortably and like not have any pressure or expectations, and she was just immediately going on to talk about scheduling a live chat, and I was just confused because I thought part of the scheduling counselling could be non-scheduled, like relaxed messaging, which I think to some degree it can be, but I guess I just didn't realise that at the start it can't really be, because she needs to understand more about me, my story, what I deal with, and that's hard for a counsellor if it's very elongated and sporadic. So there's a little bit of miscommunication, but I do think it's more so on my part. So I was trying to like resist having a scheduled live chat, but kind of seemed like we had to, so I just agreed to, and I'm just sat waiting for it because I've got it in like less than 5 minutes now. I have no idea what I'm gonna say. I don't know what to expect, and I've not been thinking about it all day because I just know that I'll start feeling anxious, I'll start overthinking it, and I've just been trying to like relax, but I've bitten all my nails down. There's like a little pile of nails here that I need to bin, which is gross, but when I'm anxious I tend to do that even if I don't really realise. So now these are bitten to the bare bone, and I can feel my head getting sore. It's like underlying anxiety, like I feel okay and I feel calm, but just uncertain and stuff. Currently in the middle of my chat with the counsellor, and it's going okay. Cried multiple times but it's been good and it kind of feels easy. The start was weird. She was trying to video call me and I'm like, I can't do phone calls or video calls, so no. But we're in the live chat and they can actually see what you type, but it's a function that you can turn off, so I've turned it off just because I wouldn't want to worry about that. It's quite good because she started off like talking a bit about herself, and I asked her why she got into counselling, just because like I'm curious if she has any history of like something that's happened to her. And it's just that she started helping people and realised how many people suffer in silence. So yeah, and then she asked me what my story was, and I find that a really hard question because I could tell you like the main things that have happened, but there's just so many details which are why I'm the way I am. So it's a bit awkward, but we've been having this conversation and I feel like she's starting to really understand what I am going through and have been through, and some things she said have been so spot on and have helped me to realise some things already. So yeah, it's going well. So the session is up and it was alright. I don't think I really have anything to add from what I said halfway, but obviously it's going to take time to get something out of counselling. Like your first session needs to be them understanding you and your story and stuff. So yeah, there's not a lot to say, but it was alright. So it's the 15th of June. I don't know when I last vlogged, so I don't want to show you the messages, but I am currently doing my second BetterHelp session. I've got my crystals and my candle because they just make me feel really zen, and I'm just sat by the door with it open, blankets, and also a cup of tea, of course. So I can't remember what I last shared with you, but I've actually swapped counsellor. But right now I'm actually in my second session, which is my first with this new counsellor, and yeah, I just have so much to say. But I was feeling quite nervous before it. Not as bad as the first time, but still a bit nervous, so yes. Okay, my session is complete. So I thought I'd walk you through what happened and why I've now got a new counsellor. So the first counsellor that I tried, she was fine. I feel like there was a little bit of a communication wall. And I don't know if that's just because we talk differently, because I know that some people literally just communicate differently, even if they both speak perfectly the same language. But I just felt like there was a little bit of a disconnect. But in that first session, like, she asked some really good questions, she got me thinking. But once she knew that I wanted to schedule the second one, she just chose a random time on a random day 2 weeks away. And I was like, I'm sorry, but number one, I don't want to wait that long. And number two, you've chosen midnight for me, which isn't okay. I said to her that time's not good for me. So she randomly scheduled in another day sooner, which was at a better time. But she said, if the timings are a bit off for us, then I'm allowed to choose another counsellor. And I thought, well, because I've had these communication queries and this situation, I may as well try another one and see what that process is like. Immediately, I think she might have done it on her end, this thing came up for me to talk about my experience with her. It said that she wouldn't see what I wrote. I wouldn't have minded if she did. So I kind of just rated her on various different things and then had a box at the end to write any notes that I wanted to, like, send BetterHelp about her or about the experience. And then popped up this screen where I could choose my next counsellor, and it was about 6 to 8 different therapists and counsellors, which were all like matches based on what I chose that I needed, if that makes sense. It showed their name, their photo and their description and what they're like educated in. So I could then go through those and pick anyone I wanted, which I think is amazing. And then I immediately was able to start talking with her, and she was completely different to the first lady. The first one said that I had to get on a live chat so that she could understand more about me, and she kind of wouldn't talk to me unless I would, which I understood and I came to accept it, and I did it, and that was fine. But this lady just immediately started talking to me. She just said, we can go at your pace. I know that you're skeptical, so I just want to start off by giving you some worksheets to do with anxiety. And so she sent through this document that kind of explained ways to deal with anxiety. It had like a box at the bottom to talk about how it affects you, and she also recommended that I start journaling and meditating as well. And I was just like, it's helpful, but I already meditate, I already journal, I kind of know the things that are in this worksheet, like it's not really what I need. And I told her that, and she said, okay, that's fine, I'm glad you've said, can we schedule in a live chat? And so as soon as we got on, she kind of just started asking some general questions about like what I want to get out of this, and I explained that I kind of have come to understand the way that I am and I cope on my own and stuff, but it'd be good to talk to a professional and just learn some new things about dealing with it, and also my anxiety. So she asked like how my understanding of what I've been through and how I cope and stuff, how it affects my relationships and stuff like that, and it kind of all just went from there, and it brought up question after question in a really relaxed and natural way. And she started to understand my story, and she asked about the journaling that I do. The journaling that I do is kind of like prompts, which is where you write down a question and it's like, what are 3 things I feel grateful for today, or turn 2 negatives that I see about myself into positives. Like, it's a prompt is like something that's going to spark you to find positivity in your mind. And she was like, I'd like you to start journaling about your story and your experiences. And I was like, how do you want me to start? And she said, I will give you prompts, which is really interesting. I'm really intrigued to see what she's going to send me, because she said she'd send them afterwards. And she also said, because there's a journal section on BetterHelp, she asked if I can put it into there so she can see it, because it will help her understand what I've been through and where I am now. The first session lasted the full hour, whereas this one was only half an hour long, because she was like, can we leave it there until I have more information on you, like through your journals? Yeah, it was quite good, and I feel really calm with her. I feel like she completely understands everything I'm saying. I understand what she's saying. So yeah, I feel really positive about it all, and I was going to leave this video here, but I feel like I just want to kind of go one more step further and see how this next stage goes with the journaling and the next session, and then I'll probably end it. So it's now June 23rd and I'm just gonna give you my final thoughts on counselling. So yesterday I had another counselling session which lasted about half an hour, and it's just crazy the difference in my confidence and acceptance from the start. I went into the first session, even just signing up, so nervous, not being able to sleep properly, questioning everything, just feeling uncomfortable about having to talk to someone and feeling like I don't even know what to say to them. I don't even know how they can help me because I'm doing okay on my own. But through each of the sessions with the first counsellor and this one that I am with now, just simple things that they've said have really helped me understand why I am the way I am, and it's really stemmed to other things in my life as well. The counsellor I'm speaking to right now is trying to really understand any issues in my life right now and how they link to my past, and she's always checking to make sure that I'm getting what I want out of my time with her, which is really good to know that she is aware of that. And I let her know that my biggest issue was, I guess, grief and any way that that might still be affecting me, and also just because I know that I deal with a bit of anxiety, specifically in social situations and on phone calls. So she's just sent over some documents for me to read about grief, and also 2 worksheets to do, and one of them is the goodbye letter, which isn't something I've ever even thought about doing. And I'm actually looking forward to it because she said that it helps people get off their chest something that they never even knew was there. So I'm going to continue with this counselling for a bit longer. If you guys want to know how that went, just leave a comment below or email me, message me on Instagram, whatever you want. You can find me anywhere. And I'll update you. If you're thinking of going through this process too, I really can't recommend it enough. I think it's so worth doing, honestly. Even to just confirm that what you feel is normal. And if you want someone to guide you through it, I'm right here and I can just be that extra support to help you get through it, because I know how daunting it is. My session yesterday I didn't even bat an eyelid to. So yeah, it's the unknown that's the scariest bit, I think. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you are doing well. If you did enjoy this or think it was helpful, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it helps others see it. It helps this video to do well, and you can also share it with someone that you think it might help. And if you want to see more content from me, then you can always subscribe too. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you very soon.